So we're in Clovis, California. We just finished installing a faucet in the kitchen here. This is a Moen, and you can see right there, straight from the manufacturer. So this faucet had given up in the kitchen here. No hot flow. We came and replaced a cartridge. A few months later, no hot flow again. So we got a hold of Moen, and they kindly sent us a new faucet. Direct replacement for the old one. A little bit of a different design, integrated supply lines and whatnot. But you can see there's the model number, the 7545 old bronze Camerist. So it's installed, and it's working correctly. We got all the water flushed out and whatnot. We didn't change anything else down here. So the shutoff valves are original to the home, and we don't like them mainly because they're the multi-turn. They don't shut down. We know that because we worked on this home a couple times already, and they won't shut off all the way. So we end up out at the main in the front or out at the street shutting off the meter, and just to work on a fixture. And so we don't really want to mess with those. The reason being is we've got PEX, which is the plastic pipe tied in. You can see the hot and you can see the cold, the blue and the red. It's crimped on, so you could try and go back and cut right behind where the angle stop is pushed in. But I fear that, you know, once you cut it, you may not be able to get a new fitting on there. If you were going to do something in there, a couple ways to do it is try and clean up the plastic. You can see it's got overspray from when they painted or when they did texture. You can see on both sides it's pretty messed up. So you would want to clean that off gently without scratching the tubing, and then try a shark bite angle stop. So the shark bite, that is just a push to fit. So it pushes on as long as those pipes are rigid and they don't push back into the wall while you're trying to do that. You could push a shark bite fitting in our quarter turn and then hook everything up. That way you can work on this plumbing if you wanted to. But anyway, so nothing else in here has changed. All we've done is hook up the faucet. You can see up here, that's the connection right there. It's typical for Moen, you know, hot and cold integrated supplies. You got the base plate with the mounting nut, and then down here a little protective plastic sleeve for the braided line that comes down here. The only thing that I'm fussy about is this weight right here. You know, when you're roughing in plumbing, when you're roughing in electrical, keep in mind that most homes these days are going to have a pull down or a pull out sprayer, which means a hose dangling down here with a weight on it. So you can see the weight is already grabbing the electrical cord for the garbage disposal. As it comes up, you can see there may or may not be a conflict with this shutoff valve. The further out you go, the more it's going to want to grab onto that handle. You can see both the hose where it comes out of the faucet and then where it turns around and goes back up to the pull out sprayer. It's almost against this hot shutoff valve right now. So you may have some conflict. There's nothing you can do about that. That should have been addressed during top out. So the plumbing, the hot and the cold water lines should have been over here above the waistline, just to keep it out of the way of the center. Same thing when you put the discharge hose on, the big black 7/8 hose right there. When you put that on, when you put your outlet, your receptacle in, everything, just keep it out of the middle, because that's where the hose needs to float. So nothing we can do about that. Anyway, so we've flushed the water out of this. What we did is when we turned it on, we went ahead and ran water through both upstairs lavatory faucets, downstairs lavatory faucet. A lot of water out of the front, had a separate connection for what may have been a sprinkler system at one time, and then of course the hose bib bled a lot of water out, and then turned it on here and flushed it out through the hose only before we put the spray head on. So you've got full hot and cold flow. So you can see hot water and you can see it's over to the hot side, and then of course cold water over to the cold side. So plenty of flow. So we've resolved the issue. It took a new faucet to do it, but anyways, outside of that, this installation is done.